Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome to your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman. I want to welcome you into the Muskogee Media Studios here in the Creek Nation capital city of Okmulgee as we get everyone ready for a great program this week. We hope that all of our viewers in Tulsa on the CW are having a great Saturday afternoon, and all of our viewers out west on KSBI are having a great Sunday afternoon. We all hope that you're ready for a great show. We've got one lined up for you. Also, we know that many of you are wanting to hear about the Creek Nation elections. We have some unofficial results for you to share here real quick, and we will get to those right now. In the principal chief's race, it was James Floyd finishing with the most votes with 1,282 to incumbent principal chief now, Mr. George Tigers, 1,179. So those two gentlemen will now move on to the November 7th general election, and they will face a runoff to see who will be the next principal chief of the Muskogee Creek Nation. Will it be incumbent George Tiger or James Floyd, who has finished first here in the primary? Of course, these are unofficial results. If you want to see all of the results, not just the principal chief, but the numbers of the other candidates and also all of the national council seats, again, these are unofficial results, but you can go and see those now on the Creek Nation website, www.mcn-nsn.gov. And the official results should be up by Monday. So if you want to wait a couple days and check out the official results, you can do that too. And get ready for the November 7th general election. We want to see lots of voters out. Once again, a low voter turnout for the Muskogee Creek people. And this is something that's very alarming, concerning, because there's so much of a voter initiative. There's Facebook pages. There's people taking people to the polls. Us here on Native News Today doing what we can, getting out information about registration, whatnot. People, it is up to you. You have to take charge and take a responsibility for the being a citizen of this government. So the Muskogee Creek Nation want to see those voter turnouts come way up for the general election, and we'll be looking for that as well. Well, as I said, we got a great show lined up for you this week. We're going to talk with lots of great people. We went to the Hope Walk for Suicide Prevention Month. It is Suicide Prevention Month here in September. Also, we went down to Eufaula. They are revitalizing the Eufaula Canadian tribal town. Talked with some gentlemen down there, Wilson Bear, Yehola Tiger, and we talked to those guys about that revitalization there, and they got a storytelling night coming up. They're going to sit around the bonfire and really tell some of our old good Creek stories. They said they promised there are going to be some honka stories in there too, so that should be a lot of fun. So we'll show you that and get you all ready for that. Plus, the towers are going up along the river in Tulsa at Margaritaville. We took a tour. We can't wait to show you that. But first things first, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk with Justin Giles. He's the director of the Cultural Center and Archives Department here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. They recently took a trip back to our homelands to get a log, bring it back, and make a dugout canoe that will go on display in our Cultural Center and Archives Department. So, can't wait to talk to him about that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Native News Today.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
in reintegration.
It's more than just an associate degree. It's a life-changing experience.
You'll see a lot of cultural features here on the campus. You'll see a symbol of the mound, which goes back to the history of Muskogee people as being in that Mississippian time period, that mound building society. That really welcomes our students whenever they first get here.
The college in itself is beyond the building is the people.
They're passionate, very passionate about what they teach, and it shows whenever they're teaching.
The instructors and the administration, they really believe in their students here.
After a couple classes, I began to notice that it kind of felt as if I were returning back to something that had been lost for like a long time. As I learned more about the history of my people, to discover that there were very many great people that did a lot of good things for their people, for their nations, and that those people were American Indian and Native American, it kind of brings out a sense of pride that was not really there before.
There is a future for our people.
And welcome back to Native News Today. And as promised, we now have special guests with us in studio, Mr. Justin Giles. He is the director of our Muskogee Creek Nation Cultural Center and Archives Department. And Justin, for one, thanks for being with us. A little bit under the weather today, but we're going to kind of get through that like we always do, right?
Indeed, man.
Well, I know that you've been very busy here lately, lots of things going on. Last time we had a chance to talk to you actually was the festival. So we've reached our quota. We want to have you on every 3 months, just about. No, but love having you on the program. But now it's going to be great for us to have you on today because we want to talk about a really special trip, really unique trip that you guys just went on back to the homelands, actually. Tell us about what all went on bringing this special log back here to the Creek Nation.
Definitely. Another serendipitous trip where everything kind of just fell into place, collaborating not only with our own interdepartmental collaborations. We had Mr. John Brown from Federal Roads able to come with us. He's the, I guess, the leader or the head of the Creek Bow Shooting Society, so knows a lot with woodwork and you know, just really crafty, I guess, when it comes to these sort of endeavors as well. But also working with some of the locals we've gotten to know back out in the Horseshoe Bend area in Alexander City. And that's where the actual poplar log was located, and where we cut it down was right near Horseshoe Bend there. So between our department, Chris Asbell, John Brown, and actually Mr. Larry Grounds was able to come with us as a citizen. He took some time off and jumped in the car with us. And we left last Tuesday at around 9:00 p.m. and got there around 8:00 a.m. and went straight to the site there to get this log cut down. And it was really a contribution from a citizen of Alexander City who does have Creek ancestry, not an enrolled citizen, but does have Creek ancestry, as a lot of folks down there do, and really just wanted to offer up this log, not only to Muskogee Creek Nation, we just wanted some recognition that it was coming from his property, but also the other half of the log was going to go to Horseshoe Bend, and they're going to be doing the same sort of endeavor. And this is all for a traditional dugout canoe, using a poplar log, the same type of material that our ancestors would have been using. So it was really a huge tree. I'm talking about a 200-foot tree, if not larger, and we were able to get about 2 16-foot logs out of this sort of this cut down in this log.
Well, you guys, for sure, at your department, you're always coming up with new, different ideas and things for people to just see, touch, feel our culture. And this is really going to be something whenever we have this actually carved out in the way that our ancestors actually meandered through the rivers and waterways back in our homelands through these canoes, the dugout canoes you said. This is going to be something actually on display that people can come from all over and see.
You know, and that's really the point. A lot of our programs in our department, we want to make sure that not only did you get to read about history and look at history, but we want the sensory kind of experience where you can look, touch, smell, and feel. And when I say feel it, I'm also talking about within your heart there of what our ancestors used and what our ancestors went through and kind of the environment that they grew up in back in the homelands there. So for us, again, this is a type of opportunity that we get to leave our new homelands here in Indian Territory, Oklahoma, go back to our homelands and have a homecoming there, be able to process some of the natural material that our ancestors would have used to survive and get along the waterways and highways with the canoes back in the homelands there. Then bring that back home here for another homecoming for our citizens here to kind of remember where we come from.
Right, because when you think about Creek Nation culture and history, we've all been to different museums and things like that. You see ball sticks, you see moccasins, things like that
And
are
they're
all
usually older.
Right,
you know?
right. But you never really go to a place and see an actual replica-sized canoe in the way that they were fashioned from a tree in the homeland that who knows how long it's been there, you know,
and
several hundred
that's
years.
a great point to make this. From the size of the tree, in poplar trees, there's dendrochronology, which means you can get a age of a tree by its tree rings. Well, the poplar log doesn't really have that age process like some other trees do. But judging from the size, and we went to the mill, and the guys that know a lot of the wood down there, they said that this tree is at least 150 to 200 years old, which means that that tree was around at the time around Horseshoe Bend, if not a little bit after. So that tree was witnessing a lot of our ancestors, and definitely witnessed removal, definitely witnessed kind of the federal roads coming in, all these sort of things that happened in our homelands there. So for us to bring a little bit home, again, that tree had witnessed a lot of our own history. So it is like bringing an ancestor home with us to, again, teach us, revitalize, and also contemporize us as well too, because we're doing a very contemporary thing, but using old ways.
Yes, absolutely. And I know you guys well enough to know that you've done all the due diligence, the research and behind this, and also, as you said, talking about John there, being the head of Chukotauxi Sajalgi, the Bow Shooter Society, having that knowledge of the wood, knowing how just how to fashion it and things like that. He's making bows, things like that. But you bring that back and you bring his skill and knowledge into that. You're collaborating with the right people. I'm sure he's going to have a big part of actually making this. With
Definitely, and so is the Bow Shooting Society as well too. And we are going to document this, of course, with your all's help and with our own department's help as well. That way, when we document this, that we can go ahead and teach this. So this is something that you can hand down, that when we're gone off this planet and spend our time here and doing hopefully good our whole life, that we can leave something behind here as a legacy that our generations down the line here can, hey, look, they've seen this, they've done this, and now we know how to do it. And if we want to, we can maintain this tradition, of course.
And as we talked about before, and as we always talk about when we have a chance to have you on, this is all part of just building up a collection for you all to have when we start bringing in the real type of tourism that we're talking about, the stuff that we have actually envisioned and really, really want to bring to here to Altmulgee. When we talk about the center, talking about across the street from our council house, we're going to have kids coming through. This canoe and just things like it are going to be a huge hit when we talk about the tourism.
So you're talking about kind of the heart of our department right now is this revitalization, this renovation of the council house is what we're looking to do, bringing that council house back to life, if you will. The heartbeat of Altmulgee, the downtown area there. Then we have the visitor center, which will require that Sharps building. That will be a place where you'll have demonstrations, basket weaving, bow making, painting, whatever it may be. Fiddle dances as well. And also, again, a permanent housing or storage facility for our artifacts in our museum collection. And again, this is again going back to the canoe. That will be a place where the canoe will also reside, where people can come and look at this, whether it's on the council house lawn or if there's actually room in the visitor center there. But that's what we want. We want not only for our citizens to be able to come to our visitor center, we also want the citizens of Altmulgee to come. We also want the citizens around the world to be coming to Creek Nation and visiting our places here. Again, the more that people know about our ancestry and where we come from and who we were and who we are today, makes people more, I guess, amenable to us, being on our side or with us and understanding us. And also for us as a nation, knowing where we come from and who we are today prepares us for where we're going tomorrow. And that's somewhat of a cliche, but that cliche works very well.
No, it really does, and it goes right along with your mission. You, Chris Asbill, Siobhan, everybody at your department doing a fantastic job. Yeah, absolutely. Collections manager, John going with you, Larry. I'm sure it was great having Larry Grounds there with you as well.
It was a great little road trip.
Yeah, a great road trip. Yeah, and you guys are doing fantastic things. Not to mention, before I let you go, definitely some of the other great things you're doing. You're involved in a lecture series that's going on now, partnering up with the Tulsa Historical Society. I know every Tuesday this month, you guys are going to be having a lecture series up there,
Every Tuesday this month at 6:30, I've been conducting really presentations. Lecture series is a little too harsh. It's not like I'm going there to discipline anybody.
Hey, everyone. Yeah,
exactly. But presenting essentially to Tulsa Historical Society, which again, Tulsa Historical Society is within our Muskogee Nation boundary.
Yes.
And again, this whole lesson in collaboration. People want to know what's going on with Creek Nation. People want to know our history. And the more that they know about Tulsa and its foundings in Muskogee Nation, which is always, that continuity is right there. There is no disconnect. The more that they know about the city of Tulsa, which has this long history of Muskogee Nation, the more pride that they have. And really, a lot of the folks that have been coming to my presentation, been average about 30 to 40 people there. They're just eager to learn. And a lot of them are Stahutki or non-native folks that come in. There's a few that are pretty loyal from Muskogee Nation coming up there too.
Yeah.
But when I go all the way back to Mississippian mound building, all the way up to contact, all the way up to removal, all the way up to Indian Territory, up to today in the future as well. So it's a great kind of collaborative effort that is really, in a whole sense, a holistic approach to who we are as people, where we've come from, and letting people know that Muskogee, our Mississippian civilization has been here for a long time, for thousands of years. And it's just a
Established.
great way to let people know who we are.
Yeah, establish the city of Tulsa, you know, it's
Exactly.
Tulsa town. And you've seen that collaboration taking steps here recently with the map that was displayed, showing the original Tulsa area. And now, you know, just another display of that coming up later in October. We got the Council Oak ceremony there at Council Oak Park. Tulsa's embraced that. There's been a great partnership with them, the Muskogee Creek Nation, and it just looks to grow, I think, in the future.
Tulsa
Justin,
wants some history, and we're going to give them that history.
you bet. You know, I think everybody's starving for that understanding and the education that comes through it. So.
On next is the Rotary Club of Tulsa. I just got invited to do that as well.
Oh,
So
great. Well, okay.
people wanted to know who we are. Well, I'm happy to tell them who we are.
Can't wait to talk about that too, for sure. Justin, thanks for being with us, man, and always great to talk with you here on the program and have you on and talk about all the great things going on. Muskogee Creek Nation Cultural Center and Archives Department. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on the progress of this dugout canoe, and everything that'll be going on with that. As Justin said, we'll be documenting and keeping you up to date. So everybody out there, we're going to take a quick break and let Justin get on down the road and get himself better, get rid of this head cold here, and we'll be right back after these few messages.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Muskogee Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. Give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary.
I think, like, creatively, I was just into drawing for a long time, like ever since I was a kid. It wasn't until maybe around late 2007, 2008 that I became aware of the graffiti scene. It changed everything for me. You don't even really understand in the beginning what kind of journey it's going to take you on, but I think that in order to become great at what you do, it really boils down to how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your own artistic creativity and your own expression. You know, I think it comes from like a belief in oneself and pushing yourself to the limits as far as you can take it.
All right, I want to thank once again Justin Giles for being with us in studio, doing a great job with the Cultural Center and Archives Department, bringing that wood back to fashion, that dugout canoe. I can't wait to see it. I know a lot of our people that are history buffs and love our Muskogee Creek history, and seeing those old pictures of creeks going down the waterways and the homelands are going to really love to see that as it is fashioned and comes into fruition there at our center. Well, as I said, speaking of things coming into fruition, it's going up along the river, and I'm talking about construction and steel and structure. It's going to be the Margaritaville Resort at River Spirit Casino. We can't wait to see this in all of its splendor, but we got a chance to be invited up from the great people at Margaritaville and River Spirit to go on a 10th floor construction tour of the facility to see how things are going. We took the elevator up, looked along the river. We hope that you guys really enjoyed taking a bird's eye view and really a behind the scenes. Nowhere else can you get this but Native News Today look at the construction.
We couldn't be more excited. This is great. We're halfway. It took several years to get the permits and everything. We started construction a year ago. We're halfway there. We'll be open September of next year with the casino, the Margaritaville, parking structure, and December of next year we'll have the hotel tower open where we're standing now. We're transitioning from a big locals casino to it's a regional destination resort. We'll get people from certainly all over the Midwest, but we'll get people from all around the country stopping in here. This facility, we're very proud of it. The nation would be proud of it. We could compete anywhere in the world. I mean, you could pick this up and put it in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, Biloxi. You know, it's going to be a first-class resort. Well, Margaritaville is like a lifestyle. It's not just Jimmy Buffett. It's not just their merchandise or T-shirts. It's a lifestyle. And before we partnered up with them, we did a lot of research, market research, and talking to a lot of people. in Margaritaville, their customer and our customers, and the demographics, the things they like, it just married up perfectly. And so we went after them, and it took a while to convince them to come to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Once we got them here, they saw our existing facility. They said, okay, and we're on the banks of a river, and they'd like to be near water. And so it just takes it up a notch more. We're not just building a bigger box, we're building a real destination resort.
It's a great nation, not only for the tribe, I think, but for the surrounding community as well. The projects that we have going on in Muskogee Creek Nation, this being, as you say, marquee, to be on the 10th floor of a brand new hotel. It'll be opening hopefully by December of next year. That adds to what we're doing as far as gaming is concerned. And to be able to see the expansion at gaming that allows us for the opportunities to have the funding for more programs and more services, it's just a great thing. It's a great day for Muskogee Creek Nation.
This facility is really going to be a destination resort casino. It's the hotel you're standing in. You're on the 10th floor of the hotel. We're placing one floor of concrete basically every week. So this Wednesday night, the crews will be in to place the 15th floor. There's going to be 25 floors of typical guest rooms. So we've got quite a bit of concrete still left to place this year. We'll finish that up January here in the next few months, and really just start the finishes from there. Overall, the facility, just a lot of amenities really built into the design here. The Margaritaville themed component is really going to be one of a kind in the Tulsa area. The Margaritaville restaurant casino is going to be quite amazing. So the hotel opens basically December of 2016. Prior to that, around Labor Day, the weekend before the grand opening of the casino will occur, that's basically going to be the parking structure, the new grand lobby, and the casino itself will open, and we'll start getting people in here.
And as you can see, lots of things to be excited about there along the river, lots of development. I believe that little stretch of river there, more development due to Muskogee Creek Nation than anywhere in the state of Oklahoma right now. So Flying T just down the way there at Riverwalk Crossing, as we showed you a few weeks ago with the development there. Now all the things happening there at Margaritaville Resort at River Spirit Casino. So it's just a very exciting time, not only for us here at Muskogee Creek Nation, but for the city of Tulsa as well, and really all of Indian country to see a tribe doing economic development such as this. It's really nice. Well, moving right along, as I said, this month, September, Suicide Prevention Month. And as you look across the country, and we'll get into it in the story a little bit here, but the numbers are very saddening to know that there are people taking their lives at an alarming rate, and really in Indian country it happens way too much as well. So with that in mind, our behavioral health department here at Creek Nation does a wonderful job with the Hope Walk each year. We were glad to be invited back.
I think it's awesome that you have this event and that it's called Hope, because there is hope, and that it brings people together to talk about it. I'm so excited to be invited here today with Creek Nation to talk about mental illness and addiction and preventing suicide, and really just giving people hope that treatment works, it's available, and we just all have to start talking about it. We have got to address this issue with the tribe specifically. Last year in Oklahoma, we had over 700 suicides total. We have way too many in our state. We have way too many in our tribes. It is a preventable death, and we know treatment works. We just have to be able to identify and get people the treatment that they need. The stigma that's attached to mental health conditions, to addiction, to suicide attempts, or deaths by suicide is a big problem, and we know that it's preventable. So just bringing people together and knowing that the tribe is open to discussing this, and they have such great programs available for anyone that needs help.
All right, thanks again to our behavioral health department doing a fantastic job there with the Hope Walk, and hopefully we can stomp out the stigma of mental illness one by one, and with events like this, and if we keep having him here at the Nation, they're embraced. It's a wonderful thing that we can do. Well, moving right along, our last little, this isn't really a regular story like we usually have, but we went down, talked with some gentlemen down in the Eufaula area about a revitalization of a tribal town, a historic spot, and some storytelling that's coming up later this evening there in Eufaula.
Some of the things we're trying to do around here is we'll have storytellers on the 26th. They're probably out here, and we're inviting all storytellers and anybody who wants to come. Church stories, ceremonial ground stories, history, honker stories. We know honker stories out of Kazoo now. So. We're more of a community service type of person. Our organization, we want to, keep the culture going. The reason why we're having this storytellers, we're all talking about we're losing our language, and we are. We're losing our stories too. Well, and the tribes thought enough of the creeks that they would come ask them, hey, help us. Right. They would come, and these were wild tribes. Back then, they were considered that, But they would come over here and have fellowship and talk about dealing with the government, So, but this is, yeah, like you said, we forget because we lived here so long, and we forget.
Well, that'll wrap up another episode of Native News Today. We certainly hope that you enjoyed this program this week. Want to thank all the people that made it happen. Justin Giles for coming in studio as well with us. The director of our Cultural Center and Archives Department, talking about some great news with them. And also want to definitely remind everyone, your duty is not done. November 7th, the general election, get out and vote. We've got runoffs for 5 council seats as well as the principal chief's position. So definitely be aware and go on that website, www.mcn-nsn.gov, for the official results, which should be sometime this week, beginning of this week, and check it out. These are the unofficial results we gave you earlier, so want to be everybody aware of that. Go to our online channel, go to our Facebook page, all of our social media sites. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next time here on Native News Today.